You see, everyone wants to talk about success like it's some kind of mystery, like there's a hidden formula locked in a billionaire's safe somewhere. But let me tell you something nobody wants to hear. Success isn't about luck or talent or who your parents are. It's about effort. It's about how much of yourself you're willing to give when nobody's watching. That's the real currency of life. Effort. Every drop of energy you put in, every late night, every sacrifice, it all compounds into something powerful. The problem is most people never give enough. They give 60%, maybe 80%, and then complain that life is unfair when they don't get the results they dream of. But life's not unfair. Life is brutally fair. It gives exactly what you give it. You give half. You get half. You give it your all, it gives you everything. When I say give it your all, I mean wake up every morning like your dream depends on it, because it does. You think the world owes you something? It doesn't. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna hand you a crown just because you want to be king. You earn it. You bleed for it. You suffer for it. That's what separates the great from the average. The great ones understand that pain, exhaustion, and sacrifice are part of the process. They don't run from hard work, they chase it. Because they know that every time they push past what's comfortable, they grow stronger, sharper, hungrier. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you're not putting in the effort, it's worthless. Ambition without execution is fantasy. You can sit there and talk about your goals, write them in your journal, visualize them. But if you don't move, if you don't act, if you don't give it everything you've got, you'll be in the same place next year, telling the same story. The truth is simple. Effort doesn't lie. It exposes you. It tells the world exactly how much you really want it. You can't fake discipline. You can't fake consistency. You can't fake the grind. The results will always tell the truth. Every successful person you admire, whether it's a fighter, an entrepreneur, or an athlete, they didn't get there because they were born lucky. They got there because they put in the work when others didn't. They showed up when it was raining, when they were tired, when they were broke, when nobody believed in them. They gave everything. And the universe rewarded that. You see, effort is energy, and energy never disappears. It transforms. Every ounce of effort you put into your dream builds momentum, creates opportunities, attracts success. The reason most people never make it isn't because they can't. It's because they stop. They put in effort for a while, and when the results don't come fast enough, they quit. But that's the moment that separates the weak from the relentless. That's the point where the strong double down. They say, I've come this far, I'm not turning back. Because they understand something vital. It's not about how you feel, it's about what you do regardless of how you feel. Effort doesn't care about your emotions. It only responds to action. When you decide that your dream is worth every ounce of energy you have, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for motivation. You just move. You wake up earlier. You work harder. You go again when you fail. And little by little, the world begins to bend in your favor. Because effort is magnetic. It pulls results toward you. You have to treat your goals like they're oxygen. You either give everything or you suffocate. You either push beyond the limits or you stay stuck where you are. The truth is, most people underestimate how much effort it actually takes to win. They think it's a sprint. It's not. It's a marathon with no finish line. You have to keep running even when your legs burn, even when your lungs scream, even when your mind tells you to quit. Because that's when the transformation happens. That's when you evolve from ordinary to extraordinary. So the next time you think about quitting, ask yourself this: have you really given it your all? Have you emptied the tank? Have you pushed past the point where most people stop? Because that's where success hides. That's where greatness begins. Not in talent, not in luck, but in effort, the ultimate currency of life. There's a huge difference between people who try and people who commit. The word try is the language of the weak. It's the excuse people use before they even begin. I'll try to wake up early. I'll try to be disciplined. I'll try to start my business. No, you won't, because the moment you say you'll try, you've already given yourself permission to fail. Trying means you've left the back door open. It means you're already planning your escape in case it gets hard. Commitment is different. Commitment means there's no way out. It means you've burned the ships, destroyed the excuses, and made one decision. I'm going to win, or I'm going to die trying. That's what separates the few who make it from the millions who don't. The committed don't stop when they're tired. They stop when the mission is done. They don't care if it takes months, years, or a lifetime. They stay locked in. Because when you commit, you stop treating success like an option and start treating it like an obligation. You have to understand, commitment isn't about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Commitment is what stays when motivation dies. It's the voice that says, I don't care how I feel. I'm still doing it. When I look at people who say they want to be successful, I can tell immediately who's trying and who's committed. The ones who are trying look for comfort. They take days off, they make excuses, they justify their laziness with mental health or self-care. The committed ones, they move different. They don't care about how tired they are. They don't wait for inspiration. They show up day after day because they made a promise to themselves that failure is not an option. Think about every champion, every legend you've ever heard of. They were committed, not lucky. Muhammad Ali didn't try to be the greatest. He became it because he was willing to suffer for it. Elon Musk didn't try to build rockets and companies. He committed to it even when everyone said he was insane. That's the level of obsession you need. You have to become possessed by your goal. You have to live, breathe, and think it until there's no space in your mind for doubt. Most people fail because they never go all in. They want the reward, but not the risk. They want the glory, but not the grind. They want to win, but they still want to be comfortable. And that's why they stay stuck. Because commitment requires sacrifice. It means giving up the things that make you weak. It means cutting off distractions, walking away from comfort, and doing what needs to be done no matter what. When you commit, you no longer negotiate with your mind. You don't say, I'll do it later. You say, I'll do it now. You don't ask, can I? You say, I must. Trying is emotional. Commitment is logical. Trying is about feelings. Commitment is about decisions. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never make it. But if you work regardless of how you feel, success becomes inevitable. That's the secret. Every time you act on your commitment instead of your feelings, you're reprogramming your mind to become unbreakable. You're training yourself to move with purpose, not comfort. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. People talk about wanting freedom, wanting success, wanting power, but they never commit to the grind it takes to earn it. They want to be winners, but they live like quitters. They talk big, but they act small. The truth is, talk is cheap. Commitment is expensive. It costs everything, but the reward is worth it because once you truly commit, life bends in your favor. Opportunities appear. Energy shifts. People start respecting you differently because they can feel that you're not bluffing. You're all in. When you commit, you don't wait for the perfect moment. You make the moment perfect. You stop saying someday and start saying today. You stop waiting for permission and start taking control. And every time you push through, every time you show up, even when it's hard, you build proof that you're not just another person who tries. You're someone who does. You have to understand, life doesn't reward effort halfway. It rewards those who give everything. The universe doesn't open doors for the hesitant, it opens them for the committed. You either decide to win or you don't. You either give your word and back it up with action, or you keep talking and stay stuck where you are. Because in the end, there are only two kinds of people, those who try and those who commit. Only one of them wins. Pain is the one thing people run from their entire lives, yet it's the only thing that can make them truly powerful. Everyone wants strength, success, confidence, but they don't want to bleed for it. They want comfort and greatness at the same time, but the two cannot coexist. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. You can't become strong if life never breaks you. Pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the fire that forges you into something unshakable. Every time you face struggle, every time life punches you in the face, it's not punishment, it's preparation. It's life asking you, how bad do you really want it? You see, most people don't fail because they lack talent, they fail because they avoid pain. They tap out the moment things get uncomfortable. They hide from the gym when their body aches. They quit their business when it gets difficult. They block out emotions, avoid accountability, and pretend everything's fine while staying weak. But the truth is, the very pain they're avoiding is the thing that would have made them unstoppable. Every successful person on this planet has suffered. They've lost, they've failed, they've struggled, but instead of running from pain, they embraced it. They used it as fuel. When I say pain is power, I mean it literally. Every rep in the gym that burns is your body transforming. Every setback that hurts is your character strengthening. Every rejection that stings is your mindset hardening. Pain is the currency of growth. You can't build mental toughness without pressure. You can't earn respect without sacrifice. You can't lead without first learning to suffer in silence. The problem is, most people have been brainwashed to think pain means stop. But in reality, pain means go further. It means you're on the edge of your breakthrough. Think about it, diamond only becomes a diamond after extreme heat and pressure. A sword only becomes sharp after being hammered and burned repeatedly. And you only become unbreakable after life tests you again and again. Every challenge you face is a chance to evolve, to rise higher than before. But if you run every time it hurts, you'll stay soft forever. You'll stay fragile, emotional, and weak. The real ones, the winners, they welcome pain. They don't enjoy it, but they respect it. They understand it's part of the process. When life hits you, you've got two choices: collapse or climb. Pain will either destroy you or define you, and the difference is your attitude. If you see pain as unfair, you'll resent it. If you see pain as your teacher, you'll grow from it. You'll start to see the beauty in struggle. You'll realize that pain doesn't come to break you. It comes to build you. It comes to show you where your limits are so you can destroy them. There's a reason why the strongest people you know are the ones who've been through the most. They've tasted failure. They've lived through disappointment. They've been betrayed, beaten, and doubted. But instead of letting it crush them, they used every ounce of that pain to become dangerous. That's what pain does. It sharpens you. It strips away weakness, excuses, and fear. It leaves behind something raw and real, the version of you that refuses to quit. Most people want an easy life, but easy lives create soft men, and soft men never win. You can't skip the hard days. You can't cheat the grind. You have to face the darkness head on and walk through it with your head held high. Every time you endure pain without quitting, you gain power. You start to trust yourself. You build discipline. You become fearless because you've survived what others couldn't handle. And the truth is, pain will visit you whether you like it or not. But if you learn to embrace it, to find meaning in it, to use it, it becomes your weapon. Pain turns into focus. It turns into energy. It turns into dominance. The man who can suffer and still move forward is unstoppable because he's already faced what others fear. He's already walked through hell and come out stronger. You can't protect yourself from pain forever. Life will test you. Your dreams will demand a price. But that price is worth paying, because on the other side of pain is power, confidence, peace, and pride. The kind of pride that comes from knowing you didn't run, you didn't hide, you didn't quit. You faced the storm and it made you unbreakable. The world doesn't care about your story. It doesn't care how hard your life was, how unfair your circumstances are, or how many times you tried and failed. The world respects one thing: results. You can cry, complain, and justify why you're not where you want to be, but none of that changes the fact that success only listens to one language: execution. People will doubt you, ignore you, and laugh at you until you show them undeniable proof. You can talk all day about your dreams, but until you make them real, nobody will take you seriously. This is the part most people never understand. The world isn't cruel. It's just brutally honest. It rewards those who produce and forgets those who don't. That's how it's always been. If you win, you're celebrated. If you lose, you're replaced. It's that simple. Excuses might comfort you for a moment, but results last forever. You can't buy respect. You can't demand it. You earn it. And you earn it by doing what others won't, by showing up when you don't feel like it, by proving through your actions that you're not just another talker, you're a doer. Everyone has a reason for why they're not succeeding. They'll blame their parents, their boss, their country, the economy, their past. But while they're busy blaming, someone else out there is grinding in silence, building something from nothing and winning. The difference isn't luck, it's responsibility. Winners take full ownership of their life. They don't say, I can't. They say, I'll find a way. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They understand that excuses are the language of mediocrity. And mediocrity has no place in the mind of someone who wants to dominate. When you start showing results, the same people who ignored you will start asking how you did it. The same people who laughed will start calling you lucky. But luck is just what the lazy call hard work they didn't see. The truth is, respect doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what you produce. You could have the worst background imaginable, but if you rise above it and create something powerful, the world will have no choice but to recognize you, because results silence noise. Results destroy doubt. You think Andrew Tate became a global name because he made excuses. He didn't cry about the system or the haters or the obstacles. He outworked everyone. He played the game harder, faster, and smarter than those who doubted him. And that's what the world respects. Not the man who complains about how hard it is, but the man who conquers it anyway. The harsh truth is this life doesn't hand out trophies for effort. You don't get points for trying. Nobody's clapping for you just because you're struggling. The world rewards those who deliver. That's why you must train yourself to focus on outcomes, not emotions. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you've done. Don't talk about potential. Talk about results. Every second you spend making excuses is a second stolen from your progress. Excuses are easy because they make failure feel comfortable. They protect your ego. They allow you to stay the same while pretending it's not your fault. But if you want to be respected, if you want to stand out, you have to kill that mindset completely. You have to stop caring about sympathy and start caring about victory. You have to stop talking about what could have been and start proving what will be. People only believe in what they can see. They don't care about your plans. They care about your performance. If you say you're going to change your life, change it. If you say you're going to build something, build it. The world watches silently. It doesn't cheer for potential. It claps for achievement. You'll never earn respect with excuses. Excuses might make you feel better today, but they'll destroy your future tomorrow. And that's why every day you wake up, you have a choice: to produce results or to produce excuses. You can't do both. Every minute spent justifying your weakness could have been spent strengthening it. Every excuse is a step backward. Every result is a step closer to dominance. You have to be the kind of person whose work speaks louder than their words. Let your grind make the noise. Let your results do the talking. Because in this world, the only language that power understands is results. You can be smart, talented, or gifted, but if you don't have relentless drive, you'll lose to the person who refuses to quit. Victory doesn't belong to the one who starts fast. It belongs to the one who never stops moving. The relentless are built different. They don't care about how many times they fall, how many times they fail, or how long it takes. They only care about one thing: winning. And they understand something the average person never will. Life rewards endurance, not excuses. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They give up at the point where it starts to hurt the most, not realizing that's the exact place where success begins. The relentless understand that pain is just the price of progress. When it burns, they keep pushing. When it's dark, they keep moving. They've trained their mind to keep going when their body screams to stop. That's what separates them from everyone else. They have an unbreakable mindset. They don't say, maybe one day. They say, ooh, it's not over until I win. Relentless people are obsessed. They wake up thinking about the mission. They go to sleep thinking about the mission. And everything they do in between is designed to move them closer to the goal. They don't take days off from ambition. They don't look for balance. They look for victory, because they know this world doesn't reward half-hearted effort. It rewards those who grind when it's inconvenient, those who stay consistent when others fold. Relentless means you've decided that nothing, not fear, not doubt, not pain, not failure, will stop you. When you look at champions, you'll notice one thing: they're never satisfied. Even when they win, they go back to work. Because being relentless isn't about reaching the top once. It's about staying there when everyone else is coming for you. The moment you relax, someone hungrier than you starts catching up. That's why the relentless never settle. They never say, "I made it." They say, "What's next?" It's a constant war with yourself, a war between your comfort and your potential. The relentless side of you knows that comfort kills ambition. It knows that the second you stop chasing, the fire starts dying. You can't teach relentlessness. It's a choice. It's a decision you make every day when things get hard, when people doubt you, when you fail again and again and again. Most people break when life pushes them, but the relentless push back. They refuse to accept defeat as permanent. They see setbacks as training, not tragedy. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to sharpen the blade. Every loss becomes data. Every failure becomes fuel. That's why the relentless always rise. They don't crumble. They recalibrate. And here's the truth: being relentless isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's exhausting. You'll be misunderstood, criticized, and doubted. But that's the price of greatness. The crowd will never understand the obsession of the one who refuses to give up. They'll call you crazy until you win. Then they'll call you a genius. That's how it always goes. People will question your grind until your success makes them believers. But by then, it won't matter, because you didn't do it for them. You did it for yourself. You did it because quitting was never an option. Relentless means doing the work every single day, even when nobody's clapping. It means grinding when you're tired, staying disciplined when you're discouraged, and believing when everyone else doubts. It's a mindset that says, "I'll rest when I've earned it. I'll stop when I'm done." And when you carry that kind of energy, life has no choice but to submit to you. Because life bends for the man who refuses to bend for it. You have to develop tunnel vision for your purpose. No distractions, no second guessing, no backing down. The world belongs to those who decide they'll either succeed or die trying. Every champion you've ever admired reached greatness because they were relentless. They didn't have more talent, they just had more heart. They didn't have an easier path, they just had stronger focus. They didn't stop when they were tired. They stopped when they were finished. That's what victory demands. Relentless pursuit. You can't want it sometimes, you have to want it all the time. You have to wake up every day with hunger in your chest and a refusal to let up. Because the truth is, you'll never know how strong you are until being relentless is your only choice. That's when you unlock something inside you that can't be broken. That's when you realize that victory was never about being the best. It was about being the last one still standing. Every single person says they want to win until it's time to sacrifice for it. They talk about greatness like it's a right, but greatness doesn't care about your words. It only answers to your work. When you wake up in the morning, when your feet hit the ground, the question you should be asking yourself isn't, "Can I do it?" but, "Will I give everything I have to make it happen?" Because that's the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers talk, doers execute, winners give their all. When you truly give your all, something changes inside you. You stop living with hesitation. You stop second guessing. You stop wondering what could go wrong because you're too busy putting in the work to make things go right. That's the secret nobody talks about. When you give everything, you stop fearing the outcome because you already know you left nothing behind. You already know that whether you win or lose, you gave 100% of yourself to the mission. And that's what separates the weak from the unstoppable. The reason most people never reach their full potential isn't because they don't have the ability. It's because they keep holding back. They give half effort and expect full results. They work hard for a few weeks, then disappear for a month. They want success, but they also want comfort. And the truth is, you can't have both. If you want to win, you have to pour everything you've got into it until there's nothing left to give. Every ounce of energy, every bit of focus, every second of your day has to be directed toward your goal. Because success doesn't come to the most talented, it comes to the most committed. When you give it your all, you stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is weak. It dies the moment things get hard. But effort, real effort, creates momentum. Momentum builds discipline. And discipline builds empires. Every rep, every hour, every sacrifice becomes a brick in the foundation of your legacy. Most people never build that legacy because they quit when the pressure hits. They think struggle is a sign to stop, but it's actually a signal to push harder. Because the deeper the struggle, the bigger the reward. You have to understand something. Life is watching you. The universe is watching what you do when nobody's paying attention. Are you still grinding when the cameras are off? Are you still disciplined when no one's there to hold you accountable? That's what giving it your all means. It's not about showing off when it's easy. It's about staying locked in when it's hard. It's about giving your best when you feel your worst. That's when you build the kind of mindset that can't be defeated. When you give it your all, you earn a power that most people will never feel. The power of certainty. You don't question yourself because you know you've done everything possible. You know you've put in the hours, the sweat, the effort, and the sacrifice. That level of certainty can't be bought, faked, or handed to you. It's earned through relentless effort and total commitment. The man who gives everything never fears the outcome because he knows he deserves the result. The world is full of people who almost made it. They almost succeeded, almost changed, almost gave everything. But almost doesn't build empires. Almost doesn't win championships. Almost doesn't create legends. The difference between the great and the forgotten is that the great ones went all in. They didn't care how hard it got, how long it took, or how much it hurt. They gave it all because they understood one thing. If you leave something in the tank, you'll live with regret. And regret is the heaviest burden a man can carry. When you give everything, you live differently. You move with purpose, with conviction, with intensity. You stop wasting time on distractions. You stop comparing yourself to others because you know you're competing against one person, the version of you from yesterday. You wake up hungry to be better, faster, stronger. You stop needing validation because your work becomes your proof. That's what giving it your all really means. It means proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. And that's the truth. You'll never know your limits until you go beyond them. You'll never discover your real power until you reach the point of exhaustion and decide to keep going. Every ounce of strength, every drop of sweat, every moment of struggle, that's the price of victory. You don't get to rewrite your destiny halfway. You either give it everything or you give it nothing. The man who gives it all doesn't just win, he becomes unstoppable, unbreakable, and unforgettable. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one simple truth. You either gave it everything you had or you didn't. Success doesn't care about your excuses, your pain, or your circumstances. It only recognizes effort, discipline, and consistency. Every word you've heard, every lesson from this journey points back to one core principle: give it your all. Because when you commit fully, when you stop holding back, stop negotiating with yourself, and stop waiting for the perfect moment, life starts to bend in your favor. The man who gives his all walks with a different energy. He doesn't need to speak loudly. His results speak for him. He doesn't chase approval. His purpose drives him. And he doesn't fear failure because he knows failure can't defeat someone who refuses to quit. Every setback becomes a weapon. Every loss becomes fuel. And every challenge becomes another reason to rise stronger. You can spend your life playing it safe, or you can take the risk and give everything you've got to what you believe in. One path leads to comfort, the other to greatness, but never both. The truth is, you were not born to be average. You were not created to blend in. You were built for more. You were built to dominate, to create, to inspire. But that version of you only appears when you go all in. So, when the world tells you to slow down, when the pain tells you to quit, when the doubt creeps in, remember this: your future self is watching. Your legacy is waiting. The man who gives his all may not win immediately, but he always wins eventually. Because effort never goes unnoticed. And in the end, when you've left it all on the line, when there's nothing left to give, that's when you truly win.